Good morning and happy Monday morning to everybody. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. We have a lot of royal news to cover, but beyond that, for those of you who have figured it out, I am in England. I'm going to be doing separate videos on that, but let's just jump in with what we have, okay? Let's go. We're starting off today with Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. She officially opened some new homes that were built for veterans in Kent. It's a £22 million village that has a range of homes along with some welfare support for the veterans. It was set up by the Royal British Legion Industries. Now, the Royal British Legion Industries was actually formed in 1919 to support injured soldiers coming back from World War I. A total of 40 new homes were opened by Princess Anne. There's assisted living apartments adapted for disabled people. There's new family homes. She also, while she was there, met residents. Just fabulous. Now, the one person she met was a gentleman who served in the Royal Engineers for 18 years and his wife. They had 19 months of abuse from a neighbor. Can you imagine? That caused the wife's weight to drop over, they say, I guess 6 stones. That's like 61 pounds. And so they're providing them a community and opportunities rather than just a roof over their heads. Pretty cool. Love it. Moving on. Next up, Princess Anne went to a dinner with her husband at the Old Royal Navy College in Greenwich because she is patron and Sir Tim is the vice patron of the Royal Naval and Royal Marines charity, and they have a dinner every year. It was the Trafalgar Bite dinner. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It took place on October 19th and looks fabulous. Moving on. All right, remember, sticking with Princess Anne, I told you she flew to Mumbai, India earlier this week. She was at the International Olympic Committee session. Well, while she was there, she was sitting next to the Monaco head of state, Prince Albert. Of course, Charlene was nowhere to be seen. That was interesting. And I didn't know that Albert competed in the Olympics as well. For those of you who are unaware, as I was, Prince Albert was a part of Monaco's bobsled team in the Calgary Winter Olympics in 1988, Albertville 1992, Lillehammer 1994, Salt Lake City 2002. I had no clue. I think that's really cool to find out. Now, I have to admit that I had no idea Albert had participated in the Olympics. Maybe you guys knew that, and I'm just, on the outside. But I'm loving the fact that as I'm doing these videos, I'm finding out all this really cool information about other people that I had no idea on. Pretty cool. Moving on. All right, this next story kind of got my attention a little bit. Apparently, Princess Eugenie went on a podcast and she says she wants people to know that after her quote unquote ugly photos were released in the past, that she actually said to somebody that she wants to show people the real me, and she was upset that pictures were being put out that don't show the real her. She said that, I want people to know me. I think there's been a lot of misinformation. And if you see a picture or a terrifyingly ugly photo of me coming out of a bar, the action shots, that people get, she said they're not the nicest photos. But then she said, quote, I have people come up to me sometimes and say, oh, you're so much better looking in real life. She goes, is that a compliment? I don't know. She says, but I don't like to post photos. She says, I have to ask at least 5 people before I post photos. Listen, she's in the public eye. I can understand. She only wants flattering photos out there. Aren't we all the same way? Yeah. But that comment reminds me of Meghan Markle. See the real me. Moving on. Now, sticking with Eugenie and Beatrice, Princess Eugenie actually came out on a podcast and said that her sister is annoying when she wants to be, and she herself can be annoying right back. My God, how old are these girls? They're married with children of their own. She says, but even though we annoy each other, we still love each other. We're still the best of friends. I'm like, I'm sorry. Most people annoy each other. Most siblings annoy each other, but you certainly don't go on a podcast and talk about it. And especially, I'm sorry. I just don't think that's appropriate, but whatever. You love each other. So if you love each other, don't go out and complain about your sister being annoying. Just my thought process. Moving on. Next up, we have Queen Camilla, who went to the British Champions Day at Ascot Racecourse today. It was the last day of Frankie Dettori's day of racing in Britain. She looked lovely. So in honor of the occasion, she was pictured wearing a small diamond horse brooch. Now, everybody said that brooch was a tribute to, her late mother-in-law. It was gifted to her on her 90th birthday, and that it had been commissioned by Racing Post newspaper, and who it was made by, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, during her visit, the Queen unveiled a specialty commissioned statue, which I thought was very nice. But guess what? That brooch, it turns out, was absolutely incorrect. Mainstream media said it was one thing, but that's not the truth. I'm not exactly sure where it came from. I don't think a lot of people are aware of where it came from, but it was not Queen Elizabeth's. So mainstream media got it wrong. All right, moving on. Next up, remember then they had the reception at Buckingham Palace and everybody was there and Sophie was there, but there were no pictures? Here you go. A picture was found. And as usual, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for the information on what she was wearing. Moving on. All right. Oh my goodness. Apparently, Queen Elizabeth's, one of her royal aides, is going through her papers, and people are getting nervous that some of the documents may never be published because her official biography is still under wraps. The palace has not yet said which historian is going to go through everything. But King Charles is moving in the right direction, they said, because he's entrusted one of her most trusted aides with going through the personal papers and correspondence. What I'm concerned about is that when he does that, he might get rid of stuff, kind of like Queen Victoria kept all those diaries. Her daughter rewrote a lot of the diaries and ripped out a lot of pages that she thought would have been inappropriate. And as a result, we really lost a lot of history. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. All right, next up, we're going to discuss the fact that everybody said that Andrew was Queen Elizabeth's favorite son. I don't know if that's true or not, but they're saying that she was very indulgent with him. And that, of course, has left King Charles in a very, very bad position because Charles has had to put him in his place. Charles has to try to keep Andrew from doing anything, royal, while still making sure that he's a member of the family. And now, of course, we have the whole royal lodge problem and wants him to move. But Andrew was like, no. Supposedly they worked out some sort of a deal. I don't know what's going to happen. But I agree. I think the Queen indulged Andrew just a little too much, and that's created problems. Moving on. Let's move on now to Meghan. Supposedly, we've all heard she supposedly is writing a memoir, and they're saying she's going to paint herself as bitter if she writes, quote unquote, what really happened between her and Catherine. Let's be honest, it's going to be her truth, not the truth. We know that Meghan said some really nasty things to Catherine, calling her baby brain. We know it was Meghan who made Catherine cry, even though she claims it was the other way around. Other people have stepped up and said that's not true. And I think if Meghan does a memoir, it's going to make her look really bad. All I can say is she should be super careful about what she puts in that book, because let's not forget, it was Catherine who said recollections may vary. And if Meghan writes a bunch of lies about Catherine in that book, don't be surprised if Catherine comes out swinging. And I'm still shocked to this day that Harry, who was around his sister-in-law for 10 years, is ignoring everything that Catherine said and did for him and just believing whatever comes out of Meghan's mouth. I'm still so stunned to this day that that's going on. Moving on. All right, next up we have this article that Harry and Meghan, their Christmas plans are revealed. Who are they kidding? They will receive an invitation to Sandringham or wherever it is that they go for Christmas. They will deny it and say, no, thank you, because, they haven't gotten their apology. Yeah. I think it's better without them anyway. All right, here we go. They're going to start throwing Harry under the bus. Do you guys remember when the two of them were on the palace balcony and Harry told Meghan to turn around? So essentially what they're saying is, when Harry told Meghan to turn around, he hurt her feelings and made her cry. And they had been fighting on the balcony, which is what caused the thing. Now, they're saying that first of all, you should never fight on the balcony. One of the things about being royal is to ensure that public appearances go smoothly. And it does seem like this was an unhappy exchange. I mean, listen, as soon as the anthem started, you stand facing forward like everybody else. But Meghan kept turning around. But when Harry finally tells her to turn around, look at his mouth. Look at him. He tells her, turn around. And look at the mouth he's making now. He is irritated. Very irritated. But sorry, guys, no crying. There was booing as their carriage went by, but no crying. So I believe this is a WME story meant to, throw Harry under the bus. Just like these stories, Harry's not keen to get back to the kids. He's tense. It's Meghan who's keen to get back, and she's just the best mother and does so much for them. You see the common theme here. They're starting to throw Harry under the bus. Now, let's turn our attention to King Charles for just a second. He made a speech on Wednesday at the Mansion House, remember, at the reception. And what he said there, in case you guys have forgotten, is the public should rise above the rancor and acrimony of online debates. Now, people are saying that that was a subtle message to Harry and Meghan. Now, one of the things he said is, there's a bit here that is just about Harry and Meghan. Do we pause instinctively and unerringly before speaking or act to ensure we are affording equal weight to both sides of the balance? And Angela Levin said, basically, that's a message to Harry. Don't come in and start shouting at me and demanding years later we apologize to Meghan. Moving on. In our name and shame for today, I just have one person, a realtor from LA, that was fired from Keller Williams due to her anti-Semitic rant. Well deserved. Moving on. All right, this is just a clickbait article, but basically what it says is Eugenie set Harry up on a date with Cressida Bonus. And the whole article is about how at the end of the date, even though she didn't say it was okay, he tried to kiss her and he missed. And there was like this painful exchange. And he ended up calling his cousin to tell her about the blunder. I mean, how long ago did this happen? And, oh God. Cressida apparently had already filled her in anyway. But who cares? How long ago was that? All right, I just had to throw this story in here because I thought it was hilarious. Prince Christian of Denmark had his 18th birthday. Apparently, it was a huge party. It was a big gala. But at the end of the gala, they found a gold stiletto left by somebody. They said it was just like Cinderella. So they went ahead and they took a picture of the shoe and they put it online. And, we're looking for the owner of the shoe. Posted on Instagram. Who's the Cinderella that forgot her shoe? Well, of course, the woman stepped forward. 18-year-old Anne Sophie Olsen. It was her shoe, and she said, believe it or not, she did it on purpose as a joke. Moving on. Next up, we know that Harry and Meghan went away on this Caribbean holiday, and Angela Levin said that they were there to network because who goes... It's not a case of relaxing. It's the billionaires see you and go, here I am. It's all about the networking. Now, here's the interesting thing. Apparently, they're on this article, and it's all about, the billionaires. But the thing is, billionaires don't care about them. Billionaires don't take a picture and immediately, sell it to the Daily Mail. It was pretty obvious that this was a setup. It was done to show people that they were there on the island as well. I mean, it's literally... It was such a setup. We already know. And they flew there and back on a private jet. What else would they do? All right. And finally, to finish up, you should know that it was confirmed what I reported. They did use another private jet to go to the Caribbean and back. Our eco-warriors. Now, really quickly, as some of you have ascertained, I am in England, my husband and I, and on our first night in town, we met up with Trevor and his partner, very nice. The next day, we met up with Taz. According to Taz, it was pouring rain. We didn't care. We were having a good time. Here we were at the station because we were waiting for, are you ready? Steph the Ultra Nerd. Yes, she was with us also. And Taz and Steph took us around. We got to see all kinds of things. It was really great to finally meet up with everybody. My husband and I had the two best tour guides in town. Let me tell you, we saw all kinds of stuff. I'll be doing separate videos on what we saw, okay? All right, you guys, you know what I'm looking for. Put those comments in and make them good. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell. If you've already hit it, double check. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.